Hi guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another video on Conqueror's Blade. So, Sons of Fenrir, a unit that recently actually got a little bit of a buff. They're sort of almost bringing them back out because these are a Season 7 Viking unit, and obviously with Season 12 being Vikings again, they're sort of almost trying to promote them and sort of bring them back up the meta tables a little bit. And they kind of have done, even though I've always had a bit of a soft spot for this unit. If you go back, I did a video on them probably a couple of months ago where you can really use them as very effective hero killers, even pre-buff. I managed to get sort of 10 hero kills in a game with them or something. They can really dominate quite heavily, despite the fact that Night Stalker absolutely hates them. They can be a good unit, honest. And the buff has certainly not done them any harm. And then that's obviously combined with the fact that we're currently locked in this Season 3, Tier 3 stuff, just makes them all the more dominant. Now, they kind of have a number of abilities to them. They obviously have this leap, which essentially they run in a straight line and jump. So it means if someone sets up a line of shields, you can kind of technically jump over it. And while they're in the air, they take less damage. It occasionally can be useful. By and large, I tend not to particularly employ it. I find it just tends to scatter them a little bit too much. And by and large, I prefer just using Predator for the movement speed and the range damage reduction. I then push them into the unit with X and immediately go on with my Beast, which does this massive increase in the amount of damage they do. They also cause some defense reduction on enemy units, which is quite significant because they do attack very, very quickly, so they stack up quite quickly. And they also get reduced damage taken after they get hit back. So these are the recent buffs they added in, this extra defense reduction that this spot's got added in. They've also changed the AI slightly so they're a little bit more aggressive and can land their hits a little bit better. And it does actually make a difference, and they are quite a bursty, quite powerful unit. I've ended up going down the bottom line, really just to get things like the additional bleed, bit of extra beast damage and stuff like that. That's really, for me, what makes them the best. The end line isn't particularly helpful. I don't really use Wolf's Leap all that often. In matter of fact, I could probably take that off and that one off and perhaps start doing a few down here. Just that a little bit of extra slashing damage to 6% would actually probably be more useful than these last three nodes. But anyway, in terms of doctrines, nothing particularly special. We do have one unit-specific one, which we got from Season 7, and also extra damage to units and the extra damage to heroes. Remember, they do a lot of hero damage. And then just extra slashing damage and extra slashing AP, just to get those base values a little bit higher, because their slashing AP is actually relatively low. But anyway, let's see what we can do with them then. Let's see if we can ambush a few enemy heroes and flatten and carve our way through a few enemy units. So we kick things off, a little bit of Conqueror's City, a map that most people seem to dislike. And I don't know, I don't really dislike it. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say I like it, but I don't know, don't mind this map. Anyway, just got the unit out, and the enemy's pushing hard on the B point. I just decide, sod it, let's just go. Push the unit straight in, don't use the leap, straight in, straight on with a 2. I mean, it keeps the unit much more grouped up. Immediately grab ourselves a hero kill, push straight into the unit, grab 30 kills, get out, no losses. Using that Predator to pull myself out, because that Predator is the speed boost, the range resistance. Really nice for getting in and out of places dead quick. I was going to send them back to the supply point here, but I thought, actually, they've not even taken that much damage. I might as well just keep them out. So, I could have leaped into that fight. For me, the problem with that is you end up with models that are then surrounded on 4 sides by enemy units, which I'm not sure is helpful. So, the burst damage is so intense, I much prefer just Xing the unit basically into the fight, and then toggling the beast mode. And then using Predator for the extra speed. And honestly, the leap doesn't really get you into fights any quicker, because by the time they charge the charge, it would be quicker just to walk the unit into it. At least that's kind of been my feeling of it so far. So generally, I tend to give the leap a miss. Sometimes if I'm on like a tight wall environment and there's like an enemy unit of palace guards or something blocking up, or enemy unit of shields, then it can be worth leaping, because you can get basically behind them and you end up with some of the unit in front, some behind, and kind of sandwich them in a little bit, and that works well, but generally not. Anyway, saw these guys going back to the supply point, didn't want to lose it to them. Not really what I wanted, Prefecture Guards. Probably the strongest unit at tier 3 at the moment. I push the unit in, go straight on with my 2. We do get the enemy hero down nice and quickly, and I'm just trying to use my unit to control these enemy guys. We get a little bit of friendly support in the end, and we do manage to get through the unit. But I do almost die, and we do lose perhaps about a third of our unit, and a lot of the rest of it was on very low health. So you can beat Prefecture Guards with these guys, but it is a little bit situational, and you've got to really be sort of on the point with your hero, trying to control the enemy unit a little bit. That's why I wasn't really focusing on the enemy spear hero, because I thought I was better off really trying to control the unit, and the unit basically got the kill, not me. Anyway, at this point then, there was sort of 3 or 4 enemy units down there, and I thought, right, of course they're just about to come up here and go for the supply point. That's what everyone does on this map, but they didn't. I don't know why. There's obviously friendly troops in front of them, and they just completely misplay it. Really thought they were going to come up, when instead they sat there with their back to me. Perfect opportunity. I think, oh Christ, I've really messed this up. Put the Predator on for the speed boost, push the unit down straight into the back of the pipe militia. Oh, glorious. Look how quickly the kills come in. Absolutely slaughters them. This annoying little musket runs me round for a while. Come on, come back here. Oh, we don't even get the kill, only an assist. But we completely wiped out the remaining enemy units there. We're up to almost 100 kills now. Try and push in, push forwards. Trying to save the B point basically, but we unfortunately get charged by this unit of iron caps. I get my beast mode on, but the iron cap charge is just too much along with the prefecture guards. And there we go, we get overwhelmed and get ourselves killed. But we've still picked ourselves up 100 unit kills in a very short period of time. On to our second little clip on a map that I don't really enjoy, Orgolia. In at the A point, charge the unit straight in, do use the wolf sleep here because I don't really know what's around the corner. As it turns out, not a lot, it was a bit of a pointless charge, but we swing the unit round, get our beast on, and they pick up a number of kills so quickly. It's the speed that they get kills which is quite impressive. Their burst damage on that beast mode is just ridiculous. You know, they can get sort of 10, 20 kills in literally, you know, a couple of seconds. I mean, that really isn't an exaggeration, how quickly they just sort of obliterate everything. They do die easily. They are a little bit of a glass cannon unit. If you get caught out of position, they die remarkably fast, but the damage is intense. So we're through the A point, and I decided to end up going this way up to C. It looked like we got a fair bit of friendly team support pushing in here, which we had. Not too much stuff here, but as we round the corner, a couple of enemies spawning in. Seemed like a perfect opportunity. Fortunately, my Predator's on cooldown, but the unit does move remarkably quickly. End up just charging them into the melee. I think I probably would have been better off just Xing them in, really. But still, you can see how quickly we build up kills. They just absolutely cut through this unit of pipe militia so ferociously. It absolutely flattens them. And we can then pin in and chase down the remaining enemy hero and get the kill on him as well, as then we go and get the cap on the supply point. The rate at which these guys just cut things down, it just is so insane. That's, for me, what makes them such a fun unit to use. Go on, short sword, die. Hey, there we go. And then it's down. Okay, let's just capture this supply point then. It does generally seem to be those sort of smaller scale skirmishes where the unit excels. It's not really a front line unit, it's a flanker unit. If you start using it too heavily in the front line, they just aren't strong enough, and you know, if you charge them against the front of a shield with pike in it or something like that, they're just going to die. But on those smaller skirmishes, that's where they do well. We do get a bit of a luck with them here against these condos. We can kind of just overwhelm the unit a little bit. But we've got those Jav Cav behind throwing in. Oh, hero kill. They are such a hero killer as a unit. And we can try and pull them back to keep them alive. The damage you sort of take when you're starting to get those more sustained fights is where I think the unit starts to struggle a little bit more. Anyway, continuing our Orgolia battle. Get into a little bit of a fight with a short sword. So we eventually manage to get our way through with a lot of hacking. Damn Ironsides. Anyway, call the unit up to me, put the Predator on. I do notice you can see quite a few of them coming up behind us, and this is ultimately going to spell our biggest problem that we face. I'm trying to get away. I actually probably can get away in reality. It's a fast unit, but we have got enemies unfortunately in front of us. They do control the supply point on D, so we've got to deal with them at some point. And ultimately, as a few of our friendly units get caught up in it, I decide to make my move. Go for the leap with the Sons of Fenrir. Bang, get a lot of damage in against the Maul. The Maul goes down instantly. I actually don't get to activate my beast. I pressed it, but it didn't activate. I get it, but I'm a little bit late as we get hit by the charge from those prefecture guards. Charging enemy units really do a lot of damage against these guys. Remember, the Sons of Fenrir have no shields, so they're not going to hold up very well in those sort of situations. Anyway, it worked out as a handful of hero kills, 60, 70 unit kills. I slightly panicked at those retreating prefecture guards. I could absolutely have avoided that and just continued healing, but silly mistake. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video. I have had quite a lot of fun playing these guys again. Oh, wow. Yep, good job, Evo. Smoothly played. Always liking to end the video on a low. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I shall see you all on the next one.